This segment is sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.
Strange Advance, a Canadian iconic band formed in 1982 in Vancouver, British Columbia, were nominated for a 1983 Juno Award as Most Promising Group of the Year and again in 1985 as Group of the Year. Their first two albums, 1982's Worlds Away and 1985's Two, were Canadian gold-selling records.
And Strange Advance, some of the gang are here, two are not, and Rob Bailey. And a new single, guys, and a new album, and they're touring. We're happy to see everybody back out on the road again. Guys, thank you for joining us here on our anniversary show. And
happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, congratulations on the new single. We were saying before we went on camera, you guys really have not lost a step.
Thank you.
The sound is as good as it was 40 years ago.
Well, that's very nice to say. Thank you.
Tell us about the new single and the new album.
Yes, please.
Well, the new single is called Perfect Day. And usually when I write songs, it can be about absolutely anything or nothing. But this particular song was inspired by a scene from a film called Soylent Green.
Oh, that's
an old sci-fi.
Don't give away the ending.
I know, you just
Spoiler alert.
Exactly. But anyway,
and Edward G. Robinson.
Edward G. Robinson,
legendary actor.
and funnily enough, well, I guess it wasn't funny for him. That was his last film role. He died 2 weeks after shooting.
Wow.
So, and he died in the film. So, anyway, the last thing he experienced was his perfect day, and because the world had gone to hell in the handbasket, and time to check out. So, if you checked out early, they gave you a good meal, pleasant surroundings, and beautiful vistas of films of the way the Earth used to look, and etc. So, anyway, it was an important movie for me, and it inspired the song.
We love your music. It's just so great having you guys on board. And Rob, you were talking about you got quite a crew together now that you are touring again. Hooray! You're back on the road.
Huzzah.
Tell us a little bit about your crew.
We're really fortunate because what we have is this interconnected collection of old friends, basically. Ian, our guitar player, played with Drew in the original touring incarnation of the band, and our drummer, Ross, and I played in a band we were the first electronic music kind of trio in the club scene out here in the 80s. And then I played in another band with Ian, and done some session work with Alex, our bass player, who was in the Paolas, and it's unlike any other situation I've ever played. There's no politics. Everyone's just like, oh, we're too old for that. Let's just have fun. And it's really been a real joy to get together and just play.
Absolutely.
Well, you sound incredible.
They do, and we were saying earlier too. You all get older. Fun is different than the fun we had back the first time.
Fun is legal now.
Fun is legal now. That's right. Sometimes the fun are legal. We always like to ask this, guys. Drew, we'll start with you. Your sound was so distinctive when you came out. Who was influencing you? Were you looking at groups like, maybe I'm off the market, but like Kraftwerk or Joy Division? Were those bands, or jumping with other ones that may have influenced you?
Kraftwerk for sure. They were one of the first, sort of electronic, groups, and that made fantastic music without the technology that we enjoy now. But Daryl and I were totally into the UK scene, so. And of course, we played in bands in the 70s. We didn't just show up in the 80s. And so it was like we had a giant love for David Bowie, Genesis, T-Rex, Mott the Hoople, all those bands. And that's sort of where our musical, background, took us. But but apart from that, the 80s, my God, things exploded, and it was just, remarkable. New Order and Depeche Mode and all those types of groups, and also the instrumentation, determined a lot. I fell in love with an instrument called the Mellotron, which featured heavily in We Run and Worlds Away and all that kind of thing. So. And we were one of the first groups to, along with these guys, to get into synthesizers. And that opened up all new vistas for us. So
Yeah.
Anything the fans can look forward to that's a little different at the shows?
well, you know,
Yes.
one thing, yeah,
Yes.
The answer is yes.
The short answer is yes.
But when we toured originally, you know, I mean, it was an expensive proposition to tour, and of course you're totally dependent on the record company for, you know, financing things. And this time we're doing it on our own. But remarkably, we've got way more production now than we've ever had in the past. You know, we've got like a visual artist working with us who's coming up with great content for projections and stuff. And we've got lasers. We have lasers, so you know we're very happy about that.
Oh, fabulous.
No, the visual artist guy that we got worked with Skinny Puppy and like toured all Europe with them and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we're really excited about the collaboration. It's going to be pretty exciting.
And I'm sure when you look out in the audience, there's at least 2 generations there. You know,
at least, yeah. No, I get stories all the time. You know, people who have turned their kids onto our music and probably their grandkids by now. But yeah, no, I hear that all the time. And of course, 80s music is so much more popular now than it's been for a long time. So, you know, any kid that's into that, you know, and then hears our music, it's like relates to it. And it's just really surprising to see fans, you know, show up on Facebook or whatever and like they're 25 years old, you know, it's like really, you know.
And there's been orders coming in from Germany, Texas, like
All
all
over the
these people
world,
are
yeah.
and commenting on the Facebook fan page, going, "Oh, so glad. I wish you guys were playing here." And were we ever played there or
No,
released down there, or
no.
even played on the
Joy
radio?
of
So
social media
so-
can do some good.
Yeah, yeah.
YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
Hey guys, congratulations on all this. It's been such a pleasure to have you join us, especially on this episode. We really enjoyed having you, Drew and Rob, with the new album, the new single. It's fabulous, and look for them on tour across Canada, guys. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
I know.
How the strong will survive at the end of their gun.
This segment was sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.